All You Need to Know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business.
Good morning and happy Friday to you. This is the All You Need to Know podcast on Bloomberg Quint, and I'm Alex Matthew. Here's everything that you need to know. The first thing to remember is that we'll soon know the outcome of the first meeting of the newly reconstituted Monetary Policy Committee of the RBI. The meeting was supposed to happen last week, but the council was missing 3 members, so it got pushed to this week. The economists are largely expecting a status quo this time around, but it'll be interesting to hear from the RBI governor about the state of the economy. Whether the RBI's projection for inflation and growth has changed at all. But not just that, there will likely also be comments made about the one-time restructuring of loans by banks. Now, it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. You'll find all the live updates on the website bloombergquint.com. By the way, the World Bank has cut India's growth estimate for the ongoing financial year, cautioning that the pandemic continues to severely affect the country's informal sector. The World Bank expects India's GDP to contract as much as 9.6% this fiscal, compared with the earlier forecast of a 3.2% contraction. In regulatory news, the Securities and Exchange Board of India has tightened norms governing inter-scheme transfer of securities within the same mutual fund. It has issued a circular prescribing additional safeguards for such transfers within schemes of open or close-ended funds, which may arise due to situations like meeting unanticipated redemption pressure or achieving prescribed sectoral or group rebalancing requirements. The circular will come into effect from the 1st of January next year. Ahead of the festive season, there's positive news for the automobile sector. Retail car sales rose by nearly 10% year-on-year in September, according to the Federation of Automobile Dealers Association. Meanwhile, sales of two-wheelers declined 13% and those of commercial vehicles fell over 33%. Perhaps on the back of some resilience in the farm sector, though, tractor sales grew around 80% year-on-year to just over 68,500 units. In international news, the White House seemingly changed its mind on Thursday, signaling that the administration is again leaning toward a large-scale stimulus bill. This after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi pushed back on the idea of individual measures for parts of the economy hit by the COVID-19 crisis. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin told Pelosi in a 40-minute call that President Donald Trump wants agreement on a comprehensive stimulus package. There's an interesting update in corporate America. IBM is spinning off a slower growth business that manages corporate computer systems so it can focus on the boom in demand for cloud services and step up competition with Amazon and Microsoft. The new unit, which is currently part of IBM's Global Technology Services division, handles day-to-day infrastructure service operations like managing client data centers and traditional IT support for installing, repairing, and operating equipment. It serves 4,600 clients and has an order backlog of as much as $60 billion. In international markets, US stocks climbed yet again, perhaps on the hopes that the fiscal package will get agreed upon. The Dow and the Nasdaq climbed 0.4 and 0.5% respectively, while the S&P 500 rose 0.8%. Equity markets in the Asia-Pacific region are more circumspect at the start, though. Only 2 of the 3 early risers were trading this morning, and both of them were in the red. And with that, it's over to Hormuz Fatakia for the trade setup for the day in India. Good morning, Hormuz. How are we looking at the start today?
Good morning to you, Alex, and to our listeners as well. Over 1,000 points. That's how much the Nifty has gained during the last 9 trading sessions. And Reliance Industries does not feature among the top 5 contributors. The resurgence this time around has been led by the HDFC Twins, the IT majors TCS and Infosys, along with ICICI Bank. So, what do we have in store today other than the monetary policy decision? I'll start with Vedanta first, as today is the last day for the reverse book building process for public shareholders to tender their shares. As of closing on Thursday, over 74 crore shares were tendered by the shareholders. The company has said that certain brokers registered with the BSE are not allowing public shareholders to bid above the floor price. Now, listing regulations say that public shareholders may submit their bids at any price, at or above the floor price. So who's bearing the brunt of this uncertainty? It's the stock price, which is now down 15% in the last 2 sessions, and the stock closed at its lowest in over 2 months on Thursday. Troubles are mounting for the Future Group as well. Amazon has initiated arbitration proceedings against the group before the Singapore International Arbitration Centre, according to officials involved in the matter. Amazon has alleged violations of obligations in the contract that it signed with the Future Group when it acquired 49% stake in Future Coupons in 2019. The Lakshmi Vilas Bank Clicks Group deal is moving forward. The lender on Thursday said that it has received a non-binding offer from the Clicks Group. The bank just a couple of weeks earlier had stated that a substantial portion of the due diligence is completed. The stock ended over 7% higher on Thursday, and the announcement was made after market hours. Addressing some order wins now, Solar Industries has received an order worth 447 crore rupees for the supply of bulk explosives and initiating systems from the Telangana government. Now, this is the second order for the company in just under a week. It had won a 400 crore order for the supply of grenades last Thursday. The other company to receive an order for supply of bulk explosives is the wholly owned subsidiary of GOCL Corporation. Their order is worth 190 crore rupees for the supply of explosives and accessories over a period of 2 years. On to earnings now, and 5 Paisa Capital returned to profitability this quarter as compared to a net loss last year. The company has also acquired close to 2.5 lakh clients this quarter, which is the highest ever. The company has said that it is confident that its new P2P lending business will scale up significantly in the coming quarters. Titagar Wagons reported a net loss for the first quarter of calendar year 2020, led by an exceptional loss worth close to 70 crore rupees. However, the positive bit here is that the company has managed to reduce its net debt to 132 crore rupees from nearly 280 crore rupees last year. Steel Strips Wheels and RCF are the two companies that are slated to report their earnings today. Now, I'd like to highlight some buzzing stocks from Thursday's session. Just Dial gained the most in 7 months and also ended at a 7-month high with gains of over 12%. The stock was the top performer on the Nifty Small Cap Index. L&T Infotech ended at a record high on Thursday, gaining over 7%, which is the most in over 5 months. And the other stock that ended at a record high was Biocon, which ended with gains of close to 4%. Early ticks on the SGX Nifty indicate that the index is trading flat around the mark of 11,860. Do you wish to keep yourself abreast ahead of the day's trade? Brokerage reports, FNOQs, and a lot more? Now, BloombergQuint.com and It's All You Need to Know copy is your destination. So do log in once you're done listening to me. And that's all from me this week. For those of you, excluding me, who do not have a working weekend, I wish you a happy one. And it's back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Hormuz. And like Hormuz says to all of you listening in, have a great weekend. Thanks so much for listening in. You'll find a lot more on the website BloombergQuint.com, so don't forget to check it out. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you can listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Pesa Vesa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma, or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.